Make sure. Oh, wait, let me turn this down. Let me turn this down. Okay, hi. So, I just wanted to get up on here. I ain't gonna say I'm bored or whatever. I kinda am. I'm just sitting in the car. My daughter, she in her car seat, sleep in the back. We just pulled up. Well, we've been here maybe about a half an hour at the laundromat, and so she fell asleep on the way. So it was just like, you know what? Her dad can go in and put the clothes in, and I'll just stay in the car with her while she sleep. And I'm in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland right now, and it's like I think it's a little bit of sleeting mixed with some rain. It's supposed to turn icy, I believe, overnight or something. I don't know, but it's not coming down too much. Let me see. Can I flip the camera around? Let me see. Oh, she probably can't even tell that it's come what it's doing outside. Probably can't tell. But anyways, excuse me, I'm all cough. Excuse me, what? But yeah, so this video, I don't know. I just want to put this out there in the atmosphere because I think a lot of, well, for me, I believe grandma's is coming through. I know my grandma, she might be coming through like really, really soon. Well, I was feeling her or like feeling the reminiscence of her, and I was like, this was Wednesday. This was on 2/5. And I remember 2/5. Man, okay, because I called my mother. Okay, Demitra. Okay, I'm trying to talk fast because I ain't trying to have this video too long, and I don't want my daughter to wake up and be like, ah. I don't know. Lately, she's been a bit cranky when she be getting up, and I'm like, "What is the problem, Eleanor?" But anyways, on 2/5 February, this lady that be walking around. She be trying to sell some earbuds, like like you want to buy some earbuds. It's like no, like every time we come up here, I mean, she asks everybody. She got a box. I'm assuming that they knew. Asking people do they want to buy some earbuds. But anyways, yeah. So on 2/5 February the 5th, which was on a Wednesday, I believe, 2025. Okay, I was in a house, by myself, the kids at school. So I was just laying down on the couch, just chilling, watching TV or whatever, after I done cleaned up, did what I had to do. And I just started thinking about my grandma Jean. Well, the number 567 kept coming up like throughout the week, and I'd be saying it. What time is it now? Okay, it's 4:03, but I think his clock be a little bit slow. It's probably like 4:05 now. Wait, let me see. Oh no, it's 4:04. Okay, it's 1 minute behind. But anyways, so I'll be saying the number 567. Okay, 567. Now I'm gonna say their phone number because this is a phone number from like years ago when I was a little kid, and I haven't dialed it since because my grandmother passed and my grandfather passed. Her husband passed away like years ago. So, and I believe nobody is in the house. So, and this is a house number that I'm about to say, but this is somebody's phone number now, currently. I do apologize, but this was my grandparents' phone number back in the 80s and like the 90s, the house phone. Okay, the house phone. We actually had to remember house phone numbers. Okay. So, but their number started with 567 and the last four was 3383. And that's in itself. I was thinking about the numbers too, like 3383, like August 3rd, 838 567 3383. That's 333. That's 83. August 3rd, 83. Okay, but anyways, getting back to the 567. So I kept saying that throughout the past couple of days, and that's my grandparents, well, was my grandparents' telephone number, the house phone. Okay. So I'm like, I was in the house, so then the number came in my head again, or I think I seen it on TV, and I was just like, okay, 567. So I'm laying down, and I just started thinking about my grandma Jean. my grandma Jean passed away when I was pregnant with my first son. Well, my first son, Avon, and he just turned 22 last month. So she passed away, I guess, 23 years ago. Okay, 23 years ago. Wow, that's a long time. And so I was just laying on the couch and I just, was thinking about it and I just started crying. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, and I was trying to stop myself from crying because I'm just like, Demitra, what is going on? Up, see, here go the lady. I'm good. Thank you. See, she always, let me see, can I? That's her. She got the box in her hand she going to every door. Hey, you want to buy this? But anyways, um, so I was just laying on the couch and I just started crying thinking about my grandma Jean. And I'm like, oh my goodness, grandma Jean, here go another lady. I'm good. No. And then what, she got a gold chain in her hand. What? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all have to see these people, these two ladies. What other lady don't want to? Oh, they one on east side. Oh no, they getting inside that truck. What? They over here selling stuff and they getting inside this truck. Oh, absolutely not. But anyway. Oh, that's a man. The man driving, so the man be dropping them off and he go and tell them, get out and see, can y'all sell this stuff. Oh my goodness, what kind of pimpness stuff is this? My daughter just sleep with her mouth open. Okay, anyways, let me get back to what I was saying. So yeah, so I just started thinking about my grandma Jean, and I was pregnant with my first son at the time when she passed away. I'm not quite sure how many months I was pregnant. I believe her funeral was in November. And I had my son that January. So that January coming up, I had my son. So November, December, January, 3. So I was 7. I don't know. I was pregnant. Okay. So and I don't remember, because when I called my mother yesterday, which was Friday, and I was telling her about it, because I'm thinking I'm feeling her energy. I'm thinking that's what it was. So I'm like, my mother is probably thinking about her mom, and I was just thinking about the numbers. Like, oh my goodness, like my mom was like 40 something or 30 something when grandma Jean passed, when her mom passed. And I'm like, I'm around that same age now. So I was just like, oh my goodness, like just, and I'm telling her, like, I don't even want to imagine or have that feeling of, losing a mother. And condolences to whoever actually lost real true mothers, who y'all actually loved and cared about and stuff like that. And so anyways, and grandmothers. So I was just thinking about all that. So anyways, I'm on the couch and I was just crying. This is Wednesday. This is February 2nd. No, February 5th, 25. And I was just like crying, okay? So I'm like sitting up, I'm wiping my eyes and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, Demitra, it's okay. Calm down. Why are you crying? I mean, not why are you crying, but okay, you can stop crying or whatever. So I'm like wiping my eyes, trying to get myself to stop crying. And when I say tears just kept coming, like now I feel like I'm about to cry. Like tears were just coming, and I'm just like, what in the world? Like, this was like out the blue. Like, of course I think about my grandma throughout this time and throughout the days and stuff like that. Of course I think about her, but Wednesday was like, wow. Like, and I'm like, and when I was crying, I'm thinking about her more, like just thinking about her face, remembering like the conversations we had, the stores we went to, how she would make us laugh. And how, like, when I was younger, mind you, when she this is Cootie and Booty, okay? Like, she was the main one. I mean, my mom did too, but my grandma Jean was the main one who taught me how to wash my cootie and booty. And even to this day, when I be taking my showers, I be like, okay, Demitra, like I talk to myself in the shower, and I just be like, okay, cootie and booty, clean, check. Like I say that. That's just something that I do, because I always, of course, clean my cootie and my booty. And that's what she would call it, cootie and booty. And I remember, oh, let me not be so loud. So, I be telling my daughter now, when she be getting her bath, I be like, okay, here go your wash rag. Make sure you clean your cootie. I don't really tell her booty. I do the booty. You know what I mean. But I mean, I do both to make sure that they clean. But I give her the opportunity to get her wash rag and, while she in the bath, to wipe her cootie. So she was like, yeah, cootie, gotta clean the cootie. I'm like, yeah, I gotta clean the cootie. So when I was younger, I remember when I was like maybe 6 years old or whatever, over my grandma's house, and she, like I said, taught me how to like clean my cootie. So she was like, we in the bathroom, and we in her bathroom or whatever. She's sitting on the toilet seat down. She's sitting on the toilet seat down, and I'm on her lap. So I'm like, I can't even explain it. Like I'm facing her and my legs is open. So she got the sink, the water running with the soap and everything. So she's like wiping my insides, and she's, my cootie, not doing nothing, pervertic or nothing. She was just telling me this is the proper way to clean it. So she even telling me, hun Didi, you do it next. So she was like, this is how you clean it. And I remember I was like 4 or 5 or 6 years old, something like that, So that's something that I remember her doing that every so often. Like, okay, clean your cootie, clean your cootie. So I remember ever since I was like a teenager, I was like cootie and booty. Like when I'm in the shower, cootie and booty, Demitra, good. Cootie and booty clean, check. I don't know. So anyways, I was thinking about that on Wednesday, and I was just thinking about her face, and I was just like, oh my goodness, Grandma Jean, can I just get a hug? So I'm like, oh my goodness, like I miss my Grandma Jean. And you just came out the blue with me thinking about my Grandma Jean. And then I started thinking about my other grandmothers, my paternal grandmother, and I just realized, like, oh my goodness, all my grandmothers passed. Like I had my mom's mom, which is my grandma Jean, she passed away when I was pregnant with my first son Avon, so like 23 years ago. And my dad's mom, Grandma Hemphill, and my niece, her name is Niece, but of course we call her Grandma Hemphill. That's my dad's mom. She passed away, oh my goodness, I'm gonna say 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. So pretty recently, yeah, probably about how old is my daughter? My Eleanor, she'll be 4 in April. And I took her to my grandma's funeral. We ain't walk up to her casket because I couldn't see my grandma like that, and I didn't want to bring my daughter close to the casket. But Eleanor was like a couple of months old, maybe like 5, 6 months old, I believe. April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, because she passed away in August. Yeah, like 2 days after my birthday. I think August 5th. Yeah, I believe it was August 5th. My birthday, August 3rd. And then her homegoing was like August 8th or 9th or something like that. Or the 10th. One of them. But yes, and I had my daughter in April, and her funeral was in August. And so yeah, about 4 years ago. No, not 4, 3 years ago. Listen, y'all do the math. Even though math is a word in my name, M-A-T-H, math, I'm still gotta use my fingers and all that stuff. I ain't gonna say I'm slow in math, but I'm just like, oh, I gotta have paper and pen or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, so that's my dad's mom, my grandma. She passed away just say 3.5 years ago. And so that's my mom's mom and my dad's mom. And then my mother's stepmother, which she was her stepmom, or just like my other grandmother ever since I can remember too. I was younger, so she always been like my other grandmother, Grandma Olivia. Grandma Olivia passed, I don't know, wow, I think she passed about 9 years ago. 8, 9 years ago. So she had passed, And that's the whole story right there too, like with her being in the hospital and everything. Man, I felt her. She was, Grandma Olivia was the grandma that I felt close to when during her passing. I'm gonna say this real quick with my grandma Olivia. Grandma Olivia, she used to watch my oldest two sons. She used to do, oh my goodness, my oldest son hair when he was like 3, 4 years old. She used to, babysit kids, watch kids from her home or whatever. And when I tell you she's a grandma, she was my grandma, but she cornrow. I remember she did my son Avon hair like in them Allen Iverson braids. Oh my goodness. And I'm like, Grandma, you did this? She was like, yeah. I'm just like, wow. But anyway, she had passed away during the time because I forgot exactly what she had, but she was losing weight, losing her hair. I don't think it was like no cancer or anything. It was something else she had, but it was just having her like lose weight, and she couldn't eat, like take pills. And man, that's another thing. I don't know about all these people, not all these people, but with some of y'all, oh my goodness. I'm about to get off a topic and I'm getting loud. But real quick, for this one, it blows me how some, not all of y'all, but how some of y'all know that y'all loved ones is sickly. Like y'all adult, like older, like senior citizen age people are experiencing life complications. They on all these pills, all these medicines, gotta go to dialysis, gotta keep going to the hospital, gotta keep, like they suffering. They can't even eat, they can't even walk, they bed bound, like all of that stuff. They probably on not humidifiers, bibullators, emulators, humilators, the breathing thing, the humilators. What in the world? Humidifiers. No, what in bibullators, the breathing tube, whatever that thing is, that CPAC. No, that's CPAC. That's when you go and fall asleep. But that's still something. But that's not like you can be young and have a CPAC. I think. I don't know, y'all, but the thing is, when a lot of these senior citizens or older people, they have all these complications and taking pills and stuff like that, then they end up being in the hospital. And y'all be online, or y'all be like, please pray, for recovery, my loved one, my grandmother, my mother, my great grandmother, great grandfather to recover. And I'm like, y'all better let these people go, y'all, because the way y'all want them to recover, they just want to keep getting sick. They don't want to be here with taking pills. They want to relax, be peaceful. Like, y'all keeping them from their peaceful land. And most of these older people, they imagine it heaven anyway. Like what they was brought up about heaven. When you die, you want to be peaceful and you're going to be in heaven and you're going to do this and you're going to see your loved ones. Let them do that. Don't be praying for them to have a speedy recovery when they're 90 something years old and they already have all these complications. I know they like, just let me go. Let me freaking go. I don't want to be taking these damn pills. I don't want to be bed bound. Like, pray, if any of you want to pray for me, pray that I go peacefully. Pray that my loved ones will remember me. Because I'm going to say deuces. Because this effing planet is fucked. But for real, so that's what I'm just like, people be online like they parents and I can see if it's something that happened like boom, like an accident or something like out of the blue. But when it's a sickness and you know that they constantly in and out of the hospital, in and out, being sick, having diarrhea, throwing up, this and that, complaining, can't complain, can't talk, can't walk, can't read, losing eyesight, like, let them go. That's what they want to do, and y'all keeping them here. Let them be peacefully. Let them just go home. Like, what the heck? Like, you knew that day was coming. Again, if it's something that just happened out the blue, then yeah, like, oh my God, day was fine. And then 1 minute an accident happened, and now they, like, yeah, I can see you saying speedy recovery, recover from this, whatever. But all that other stuff, come on now. But anyways, getting back to, let me hurry up because I know my battery, I'm on live and whatever. But anyways, getting back to my grandma Olivia. My grandma Olivia, she was one of the people who was in and out of the hospital, losing weight, losing hair, bedbound, and sometimes was feeling weak. I mean, she was just like deteriorating, okay? And when she was in the hospital, like I said, I can't remember exactly what she had. I know it wasn't like no cancer or anything. I don't know what she had, but I know it was a cancer. But whatever she had, she was in a room where if you go and see her, like she was on life support or whatever, but if you go in that room to see her, you have to like cover up. They gave you these suits and gloves that you would have to wear in order to go in the room with her, because she was like, I don't know, I guess she's supposed to be contagious or something. This is before the C-19. This is before all of that. So, and I remember going in the room to see her, and I didn't know nothing about wearing the suits or anything. I went in there by myself. She laying down, got the breathing tube on. I mean, when I say she was like bones, skin and bones. Okay. And, she was in a coma. And, so I was like touching her feet, like rubbing her feet or whatever. And I'm just talking to her, whatever. So I'm like, Grandma, I'm here, I'm here for you, this and that or whatever. Just go peacefully. I know you know who I am. I know this is the moment. I was just saying what I have to say to her. And so, I finished saying that. And I remember a nurse came, like it was like a room before you go inside her room where like you supposed to put on all that stuff in the sink and all that, stuff like that. So a nurse came in the room where I was at, and she was just like, you supposed to have on a suit. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. She was like, yeah. I said, well, I'm just about done now, talking to her. So I had left out, and of course washed my hands. I ain't even put on no suit or whatever because I was done. I was only in the room with her maybe like 5 minutes at the most. But anyways, so when I went back into the waiting room with my family, my grandfather was there, which is my mother's dad. Okay, my grandfather Willie, granddaddy Willie, and that's his wife, Grandma Olivia, which is my mother's stepmom. But they've been together since my mother was like a teenager, so before I was born. But anyways. So when I seen like my grandfather, like he was just looking sad, like I felt his energy. When I say that waiting room with my aunts, my cousins, my mom, and everybody was like sad. Of course, everybody's sad because they're just like, oh my goodness, and everybody was like, yeah, we need to pray for her to recover. And I'm just in my mind, and I just kept that to myself, like, let her go. Let her go. Like, she's been in and out of this hospital. Let her go. So now I feel like I'm about to cry now because I'm looking at my grandfather. I remember he was sitting on a chair across from me, but like maybe 3 or 4 chairs up. And he was just looking down and looking sad. And I'm just like, and this is after I came from talking to my grandma, maybe like 30 minutes after I came from talking with her or seeing her, And I was just feeling him. I'm feeling more of his energy of like he just want to get one more time, one more goodbye, that one more time to say how much I love you. Like, I felt that. I seen it. I heard him. He wasn't saying it, but I felt it. I knew that that's what he wanted. Like, one more time. Everybody else wanted that time too, but I'm more so focusing on my grandfather, like that's the love of his life, supposedly they've been married for X amount of time. This is his wife. So I'm like, okay. So I was like ready to go, I'm telling my mom, my sisters, like, y'all, like not all loud with it, but I'm just like, okay, y'all ready to go? Because we've been here at this point, maybe about 1.5 to 2 hours. And I'm just like, and she's still in a coma, and everybody, thinks she might pass that night, whatever. But I was just like, look, I'm ready to go because I'm just tired, So I end up going home. We're going to my mom's house. And because I was staying with her at the time. So long story short, that night, my grandmother came to me. I was talking to my grandma Olivia, the one that was in a coma. And I was like, okay, for my grandfather, let him say his goodbyes. Let him say his goodbyes, because I knew that was it for her, because she's been in and out for a couple of times at this point, in and out of the hospital for the same reason a couple of times at this point. Been in a coma, an overnight stay at the hospital, 3-night stay at the hospital. Like, this been going on for months, and I'm just like, this is the last time, because she is ready to go. If y'all haven't said y'all goodbyes and kisses now, that's it. So for my grandfather, I see it in his face that, because I think I don't know, he was at work. Yeah, he was still working. Like, he don't have to work, but I guess it's some senior citizens. I ain't gonna call him senior citizen, because he don't look like no senior citizen. He don't move like no senior citizen, like my grandfather Hemphill. My grandfather Hemphill passed away at 82. You cannot tell him that man was 82 years old. He was out and about and just moving around, still fixing things, and that's how my granddaddy that's how my granddaddy that's how my granddaddy Willie is now. I'm not sure how old or young he is, but I'm quite sure he's like in his 80s. But you can listen, he's moving, he's young now. So anyways, my granddaddy Hemphill, which is my dad's father, he passed away July 4th. I forgot what year. But anyways, so that night, I was like talking to my grandmother, in my dreams, spiritually, whatever, and thinking about my grandfather, Granddaddy Willie. So sure enough, that next morning, oh yeah, what I'm about to say about him. He, I think he was like more so upset because he wasn't in the house when she got brought to the hospital. And normally all them other times, he was the one taking her to the hospital. Like if she wasn't feeling well, if she passed out, if she felt weak, he was the one taking her to the hospital. But this particular time, he wasn't in the house. So I think somebody else took her, the ambulance came or something. So when he came to the hospital, she was already like in a coma. So I felt that in his face, like, oh my goodness, I wasn't there for her. Like, does she know it is, whatever, or something, like, oh my goodness, I should have just stayed home that day. I shouldn't have did this, like, I felt that. So sure enough, the next morning, Grandma Olivia, she came out of that coma. She was talking, she was speaking, she was hugging everybody. Granddaddy Willie, he was talking to her. She was acting fine and normal. So, not, quote unquote normal. So, of course, that's what happened last time, the previous times. But I already knew that this was the last time. So when they had called my mother and let her know, like, yeah, Olivia, she up, she talking, she eating, she asked for a cheeseburger and yada, yada, yada. So my mother telling me this. So I'm like, well, I hope people say what they have to say to her now. And that's all I told my mother. I'm like, I hope everybody say what I have to say to her, because I already knew like this was going to be the last day. Like she came back so y'all can like say what y'all have to say to her, so she can say bye. I mean, so she can leave, so she can relax, she can be at peace. And so sure enough, that's what happened. That whole day she was up. She, was fine, eating. My daughter moving around. But anyways, yeah, Eleanor. And so yeah, and then that next day or that night, she passed away. That was it. Or either they just took off for life support or something, because the doctor was like, if she go back in coma again, like, just, hey, I mean, it's your choice to take off life support, but come on now. So I think they just took off for life support the next day. So I'm just like that's how it's supposed to happen. She came back for y'all to say what y'all had to say, so she can go back peacefully. So I say all of that to say this. Like, if y'all have senior citizens or older people who keep getting sick in and out, who's taking medications, who's just one day they weak, the next day they up, I mean, it's just like so much stuff going on with them. I'm like, let them go. They don't want to be here. Y'all, half the time, y'all motherfuckers don't even want to be here. Like, let them go peacefully. Let them go home. Right? We're about to get out, okay? Here go your. Where's your cloth at? Well, you got it. If you need the. If you need the cough in your cloth. But but yeah, so that was my grandmother. She came through during that time. Like but anyways, I was talking about my grandma Jean. Like, I miss all my grandmothers, like, for real, like the memories and stuff like that. But on February 5th, 2/5, yeah, I got emotional. I was crying, this and that, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And then that's my grandma Jean, and I was thinking about my daughter, because her dad's mom name is Jean. So my daughter have a grandma Jean, and I had a grandma Jean. So, but yeah, I was just crying and crying and crying. I was like, oh my goodness, Grandma Jean. Like, if you was here, like, I want to just talk to you and just, oh my goodness, give you a hug. Like, man, cough it out. She got a little cough. She had this cough like a couple of days. Cough it out. Go ahead. Cup. Just spit it out. Spit it out. Don't swallow it. Got that cold. It's like she always wanted to swallow it. Just cough it out. I just don't like that sound. Come on, cough hard and cough it out on your cloth, so you can stop coughing. Don't swallow it, Eleanor. Okay, but okay. We're about to get out. Yeah, cause yeah, I know y'all don't want to hear that coughing, cause I don't even want to hear that coughing. But but she's fine. I'm here. You know, she got water right here. She's right here. Like, I can see her, y'all. I'm not gonna put her on the camera, but okay. But anyways, so yeah, so I was just crying and crying and crying. So that's why I'm like, grandma's is coming through. So I had called. Come on, see, stop trying to swallow that stuff. Ugh. Okay, real quick. So I had called my mom on yesterday, which was Friday, and I was telling her about it. So my mom was like, yeah, you probably didn't really cry it out when she passed away. She was like, that happens. It's like a delayed thing. So I'm over here thinking, like, throughout the years, I'm like, did I have a good cry about my grandma Jean? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm thinking I really didn't, because I was pregnant with my son. So I was just like, whatever the mother going through, the baby going to go through. And this is my first time being pregnant, you know. So I was just like, I gotta be happy. I gotta be strong, stuff like that. So I was like, and after that, it was like, okay, I had him, and it was like, I don't know, just be strong. I don't know. So I don't think I really did have that cry out, with my when my grandma Jean passed. And my grandma Jean passed, I believe, from diabetes. She had one of her legs amputated, and she was in a hospital, and I believe she was getting dialysis. I think I'm not sure about that, but I know she was in a hospital, had one of her legs cut off. It was like the Soul Food. Y'all remember the movie Soul Food? But I think the movie Soul Food, the grandma had both of her legs cut off. I think Listen, but I know my grandma had one leg cut off, and she was taking medication and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I don't think I really released it. So it took me 23 years for it to come out. So when I was talking to my mom was like, yeah, people grieve at different times. Nobody is no right way, is no wrong way. People can't be in a box. Nobody can't say, oh, just how long you supposed to take. This was supposed to happen. You're supposed to let it go within a week. You're supposed to let everything out within a year. It's like, no, things happen at divine time and when it's supposed to happen. So I was like, yeah. So then she told me, she was like, well, her birthday is this month. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, that is right. Like, what? I know her birthday, yeah, it's probably in February. Like what day is it? So I'm thinking it's, probably that day on 2/5, February 5th, that I, felt her, that I was just like, crying and everything. And my mom was like, no, her birthday on the 25th of this month. So I was like, and didn't dawn on me, like the date 2/5 didn't dawn on me. I was just like, okay, the 25th. And I didn't realize like Wednesday was 2/5. Get it 2/5 on Wednesday, February 5th. And then her birthday is actually the 25th of February. But I released on 2/5, February the 5th. So anyway, so I was just like, well, okay, I guess I'll be probably feeling her more, strongly around that time for her birthday. And I was like, I guess she's just around me to let me know she's here and everything like that. She supports me. I'm doing good. Like probably going to give me some messages, some in deep messages. And that's what this video was basically supposed to be about, is grandmothers and moms, grandmothers and moms. But specifically my grandma Jean. Kind of like, yeah, like that was like out the blue. And my grandma Jean, she was a strong, beautiful, funny, funny woman. Like, oh my goodness. And like I said, her house phone number started with 567. And I was saying that number every so often, like 567, 567 3383. Again, if that's somebody's house number now or whatever, I do apologize, but that was a house phone number when I was a kid in the 80s, when we actually had pay phones and we have to use a quarter to call people, and actually had to remember house phones. We ain't had no cell phones. Cell phones wasn't even out yet. And if they was, it was like the big ones that you got to have that suitcase to charge it or whatever. But we actually remembered house phone numbers. I still remember my grandma Hemphill phone number. And I know they still got that phone number because my uncle, he in that house now. So I ain't going to say that number. Um, but it started with 773. That's their beginning, 773. But yeah, my grandma Jean house phone number was 567. Oh shoot, she went back to sleep with her mouth open. Well, I guess she need to breathe more. Went back to sleep. But anyways, I'm on here for 38 minutes now. But I'm just saying, grandmothers, Grandma Jean. And this reminds me of the movie Coco. And think about your loved ones. And I don't have a picture of my grandma. I don't have a physical picture of her, but I know the movie Coco, like having a picture up or whatever would help. It was like, nobody having a picture up of you. For me, I have memories, and say her name, Grandma Jean. I'm about to say Grandma Savannah Jean Gang. Her name is Savannah Jean James. Her maiden, I don't know her maiden name, but her husband Curtis, he passed away, my grandfather. um Curtis James, when they got married, so her last name became James. And I believe she was married to my grandfather, my dad's, my mother's dad, Street. By far as Grandma Jean, okay, I'm about to get off. But far as Grandma Jean maiden name, she was born. I don't know what kind of year she was born. Maybe in the 20s or 30s. I'm not sure her maiden name, but Savannah Jean James. Yeah, that's her name. And my daughter name is Eleanor Lakota Jean. Her last name Reyes. Already had put that on Instagram, so this isn't nothing new. Like I ain't put my daughter business out there because all of this, when you give birth to a child, you be like, oh yeah, my daughter is here, my son is here, this is his name, this is the date he was born. So, but yeah, I'm about to take her out. She probably needs some fresh air. You swallowing it? Okay, y'all. But all right. That's it. But yeah, for all the grandmothers and the mothers out there, especially Grandma Jean, and oh my goodness, I miss my grandmamas. But okay, I know they're around. All right, y'all, gotta go. Ugh.